So, good day, sir. So, let me present the MAN BMW MEGI engine. So, due to the competitions of engine production in the market, and the high cost of fuel, the MAN BMW upgraded their engine. So, MEGI engine, this is the modifications of ME versions and low-speed MAN BMW engine. This is dual MEGI engine also offer new possibilities within the stationary market, producing clean power that meets all no emission regulation. So the first order of MEGI engine was on December 20, including 2x2 MAN BMW 5G70 ME engine unit for 2 TK LNG carriers. ME means electronically controlled engine, GI means gas ignition. This engine is a dual fuel, 2-stroke, has injection engine that can deal with fuel, oil, and gas. So this MEGI engine impressed with low operating cost and highest thermal efficiency in the market because of its negligible methane slip, low GHG, and reduced CO2 emission. It is the most environmental friendly technology available. By the operational use of fuel, oil, or LNG, it represents high efficiency, flexible, proportioned plant solution. So here are the benefits of MEGI engine. So first, highest thermal efficiency for any system on the market for proportion of LNG carriers. Second, burn gas without creating methane slip. And for formaldehydes. Next is flexible burning heavy fuel oil, gas oil, or diesel oil, or any gas, heavy fuel or gas ratio can be burned once a small amount of fuel injected to ignite the gas. Next is the wide range of gas qualities can be employed. Hence, since there is no requirements for mantle number. Next, use conventional 2-stroke MAN BMW engine with its inherent high reliability, low maintenance, and simplicity. Next is the diesel combustion principle eliminates the risk of knocking, and it gives more stable combustions without pressure fluctuation. Next, can be retrofitted on the existing MEB and MEC engine. Next, reduce CO2 and NOx and SOx and particulate emissions when operating in a gas mode. Next is can operate in conjunction with a waste heat recovery system. Maintenance of both GI and gas supply system can be done by the crew or by the prime service. Optimal engine layout and operation profile coordinate with gas fuel equipment supplier, able to meet Tier 3 when combined with the EGR system, exhaust the circulation, or the ECR system. So that is the modified ME 2-stroke engine. So I hope you have gained some ideas for this new advancement of marine diesel engine. Thank you, sir.
So, good day. I am Angeline Bacaindo Calambra, and I'm going to discuss all about the Sulzer RT Flex Marine diesel engine. So, the common rail system is described or featuring the common rail and its system. So, Sulzer RT Flex Marine diesel engine are essentially standard Sulzer RTA low-speed 2-stroke marine diesel engines, except that instead of its gear drive fuel injection pumps, exhaust valve actuator pumps, reversing servo motors, and all the related mechanical control gear, this type This one, the fuel pumps, camshaft, reversing servo motor, actuator, the valve drive. Instead of that, they are equipped with a common rail. This one is the common rail. They are equipped with a common rail system for fuel injection and exhaust valve actuation and full electronic control of engine function. So the Zolzer Artiflex marine diesel engine construction. So there are four principal elements in the Zolzer Artiflex common rail system. So the rail unit along the side of the cylinder. So it also has the supply unit on the side of the engine. It has also a filter unit for the servo oil, and of course it has the integrated electronic control system including the crank angle sensor. So the RT engines are thus equipped with a common rail system for heated fuel oil at pressures up to 1000 bar, and for servo oil at pressure up to 200 bar, and control oil at a constant pressure at 200 bar, and also engine starting air system. And these are the Artiflex marine diesel engine type regarding or focusing on their sizes. So we have Artiflex 50 with an bore of 500, Artiflex 58 with an bore of 580, Artiflex 60 with a bore of 600, Artiflex 68 with the bore of 680, and Artiflex 84 with a bore of 840, and the last one is the Artiflex 96 with a bore of 960. So these are the types of Artiflex depending on their sizes. These are kind of Artiflex that but depends on their sizes. So we'll move on to the supply unit of the Artiflex marine diesel engine. So the supply and the supply of fuel and servo oil are supplied to the common rail system from the supply unit, which is driven through gearing from the engine crankshaft. In the first few Artiflex engines, the supply unit is on the exhaust side of the engine so that it could be lowered down without interfering with access to the crankshaft. So for Artiflex sizes 1 to 4, the supply unit is equipped with between 4 and 8 fuel supply pumps arranged in V form. So in V form ang pagka-arrange ng supply unit nila. So the fuel delivery volume and rail pressure are regulated according to the engine requirements through suction control with helix control filling volume regulation of the fuel supply pumps. Suction control was selected for its low power consumption as no excess fuel is pressurized. And then the fuel pumps deliver the pressurized fuel to an adjacent collector from which two independent double wall delivery pipes lead upward to the fuel reel. Each delivery pipe is dimensioned for full fuel flow. So the collector is equipped with a safety valve, of course, set to 1250 bar. So servo oil is used for exhaust valve actuation and control. It is supplied by a number of swash plate type axial piston hydraulic pumps mounted on the supply unit. The pumps are of a standard proprietary design and are driven at a suitable speed through a setup gear. So the working pressure is controllable to allow the pump power consumption to be reduced. So the nominal operating pressure is up to 200 bar. So inside a size 4 rail unit during assembly, the exhaust valve actuator A, this one, is mounted on the servo oil reel, and the injection control unit, which is this one, the B, is on the fuel reel. And next to the fuel reel is the smaller control oil reel, which is this one, the letter C, and the return pipe for servo and control oil, which is the letter D. So now we will move on. By the way, so this is the inside a size 4 well unit. So we'll move on to the control oil. Control oil is supplied at a constant 200 bar pressure at all engine speed by two electrically driven oil pumps. One active and another one is for standby, of course. Each pump has its own pressure regulating valve and safety valve attached. The control oil system involves only a small flow quantity of the fine filtered oil. The control oil serves as the working medium of all the real valves of the injection control units or the ICU. The working pressure of the control oil is maintained constant to ensure the precise timing in the ICU. It is also used to prime the servo oil and servo oil reel at standstill, thereby enabling a rapid starting of the engine. Rail unit. So the rail unit is located at the engine's top platform level. So just below the cylinder cover level. It extends over the length of the engine. It is fully enclosed but has good maintenance access for above and from the front. So the rail unit contains the rail pipes and associated equipments for the fuel, for the servo oil and control oil systems. So the starting air system is not included in the rail unit. So this one is a rail unit. So figure number 9, this is a figure number 9, three-dimensional drawing of the inside of the rail unit for a Sulzer RT Flex 96C engine. So number 1 is the fuel reel, B is the control oil reel, this one is the fuel reel, B is the control oil reel, C, this is the servo oil reel, D, this is the control units for injection, E is for the exhaust valve, this one, exhaust valve actuator on top of their respective reels, and the other manifold pipes are provided for oil return, fuel leakage return, and the system oil supply for the exhaust valve drives. So that's all for the Sulzer Artiflex marine diesel engine. So the advantage of just a trivia, the advantage of Artiflex Artiflex engine from RTA diesel engine is that it has a low maintenance requirements and lower part load fuel consumption, which makes the Sulzer Artiflex engine cost running is economical. So that's all for the Sulzer Artiflex marine diesel engine. That's all. Thank you.
Everyone, good day, sir. I am Angelo R. Loyola from BS Marine 3 Charlie. So this time, I will present or discuss the new advancement of diesel engine. So my choosing advancement of the diesel engine is the dual fuel. So entitled the first shipment of marine use dual fuel engine, or um, DE20DF. So as you can see in my title, it is dual fuel engine. So which means dual, it is consists of two. So it consists of two fuel, either um, natural gases or the diesel engine. So 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 let's start. And also this 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 advancement was created by the Hatsu Diesel. So the Hatsu Diesel is a Japanese Japanese company that produce or that create an internal combustion engines. Parang sila yung mga manufactured ng mga internal combustion engine na present nila sa iba't ibang lugar or iba't ibang company. So on the 30th day of July, the first unit of dual fuel engine. So isang unit which is the 6DE20DF, which means 6-cylinder diesel engine, 20 dual fuel. So it is where shipped to a 95,000 DWAT coal carrier. So it is like a bulk carrier. So mga 95,000 DWAT. So mga bulk carrier to. So which was ordered by NYK Line and built by Ushama Shipbuilding Corporation or corporation. So binili daw in order ng NYK Line. Tapos ginawa naman sa Ushima Shipping Building. So with include of the partnership ng Daihatsu Diesel. So yan yung pinaka-introduction ng advancement nito. So equipped upon this vessel can, depending on the condition, switch operation between the gas mode using natural gases or diesel mode. Yun na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung pag-operate, pag-change ng gas mode to diesel mode, which is kaya nga tinawag siyang dual fuel engine. So mamaya itatakol natin kung ano yung mga binago or mga advantages nitong dual engine. So using liquid fuel. In gas mode, it is environmentally friendly, higher performance dual fuel engines simultaneously reduce not only the CO2 by around 28%, but also the SOx by around 99%. Noxious or NOx by around 90%, and PM, which is the particulate matter, by almost 100%. So the vessel equipped with this dual fuel engine will be the world first large coal carrier vessel fulfilled fuel laid by natural gas. So itong dual fuel, siya yung first na pwedeng ginamit pala ng bulk carrier na fuel is natural gas, which is hindi nga natin kadalasan ginagamit yung natural gas. Nagamit natin yung natural gas sa diesel. So, natural gas, which is kuhan siya, di ba? Petroleum. Petroleum kasi, advantage ka ng petroleum is, yun nga, environmentally friendly siya. Unlike sa diesel, which is some NOx and so is can affect our environment. So one of the advantage of this dual fuel is that the compliance with NOx Tier 3 standard in gas mode and Tier 2 standard in diesel modes. So ano ba itong Tier 3 standard and Tier 2 standard? So in the Hatsu diesel dual fuel engine, comply with IMO NOx and Tier 2 standard when running in gas modes and with the Tier 2 standard when running in the diesel mode. So ito parang sa International Marine Organization nag-submit sila ng mga standards para sa paggamit ng gas modes or diesel modes. So, the operating mode can be switched as needed, such as when navigation on the sea where clean engine operates is required or when there is a fuel procurement issue. They can operate in most suitable mode according to the situation. So, di ba, sabi nga, mayroong mga special area na hindi dapat tayo gumamit ng heavy fuel. So, may mga country na pinagbabawal yung mga heavy fuel gamitin. So, dito sa itong natural gas, itong dual fuel, nag-set sila ng standard sa Tier 3, which is kung mag-change mode ng natural gas to diesel engine. So, they can operate in most suitable mode according to the situation. So, pinapayagan. The operation mode can be switched as needed. So, kung kailangan talaga. So, no change to engine rotation speed when switching to gas mode or diesel mode. So, parang hindi nag-iiba yung speed ng engine rotation speed sa kung change mode tayo kung sa diesel, change mode tayo ng gas mode, parang hindi siya mag-change speed ng rotation ng engine natin. So, advanced fuel injection control ensure a smooth switchover. Kaya nga, sa parang advance yung fuel injection niya para makontrol yung change over or switch over ng modes, which either the diesel or the gas. So, yun. Kasi kapag, di ba, bumagal nga yung rotation ng speed, parang, for example, pag tumatakbo na ng mabilis yung engine, tapos gamit yung diesel, tapos kailangan mag-switch tayo ng gas, hindi naman ihinto muna natin or kailangan diretso ba yung andar ng barko. So, with same speed kung ano yung ginamit na mode. So, ito yung parang in-advance nila yung fuel injection. Isang advantage ng dual fuel ito. So, makikita nyo, merong mga graph dyan. Yan yung mag-change ng modes. Tapos, makikita nyo, hindi nag-change yung engine rotation speed. Yan. Diesel fuel governor. Diesel fuel governor position. Ito yung position ng governor dito. Ito, the start of switch even. Dito na mag-start. So, tingnan nyo. Parang walang pag-iiba pa rin. Yun. And also, sophisticated technology behind high efficiency. So, dito sa dual fuel, nag-installed sila ng mga advanced technology na pwedeng, na kakapagdagdag ng high efficiency sa pagko-combustion. So, the technologies that have been accumulated through the development of diesel engine were applied to develop the gas turbine system. High efficiency combustion is ensured in gas mode and diesel mode operation. So, di ba? Kasi gumagamit pa rin tayo ng diesel engine. Kailangan pa rin ng high efficiency na maproproduce. And also, accurate fuel injection using a common rail. So, ito na nga, mga inad nila na mga technology. Itong common rail. Common rail is a series of fuel injection. A common rail system is used or the pilot fuel injection. A precise amount of high-pressure fuel injection as optimal timing according to the operation condition. So, nakakapag-ataas siya ng high pressure sa fuel, which is nakakapagpaganda ng timing sa combustion. So, di ba? Magmagay tayo ng fuel pump. So, karagdagan rin ditong accurate fuel injection using the common rail. Kasi nag-optimal siya ng timing according to operation of condition. So, this help also to improve economy and reduce NOx. So, pag high pressure na ni-inject doon, so parang maliliit lang yun. Maliliit parang maliit lang na fuel pero sakto na siya sa combustion sa cylinder. So, makakatipid pa tayo sa fuel economy, then also, mare-reduce pa yung NOx. Kasi kung mas marami yung fuel na nandun, mahirap marami yung fuel na sagol sa combustion, which is some exhaust are created. So, di ba, may mga usok tayo could exhaust. Kung mas marami yung fuel, then kung mas marami yung oil, doon. Kaya linagyan nila ng common rail. Kasi, ang talagang goal nito ng dual fuel is to in order to economically friendly, then environmental friendly, with gumagamit na tayo ng natural gases then sa diesel engine. Yun. So, twin nozzle. Using the two injection devices, the main from the top, from the title dual, so dalawa talaga yung fuel injection fuel. So, ininsulan nila ng twin nozzle using the two injection devices, the main nozzle and pilot nozzle. So, dalawa to. The valve train control system achieve optimal and precise operation in each cycle, thus attain high combustion efficiency. So, kasi nga, dalawang makikita nyo sa picture from the common rail high pressure pump. Makikita nyo dyan, common rail with from common rail high pressure. So high pressure na, then pilot injector na. So, the pilot, parang pinapaliit pa niya yung papasukan ng fuel. So, high pressure pa siya dito at mas mataas pa yung pressure dito. Yun. Then, meron cylinder pressure sensor dito. Kung na-achieve ba niya yung required pressure. May sensor. For safety. So, and also the compatible with various type of fuel. So, in gas mode, we have 99% of natural gas over the 1% marine diesel oil. Marine diesel over all the marine gas oil in pilot fuel. So, in diesel mode, there are 97% marine diesel oil and marine gas oil or the heavy fuel over the 3% of marine diesel oil and marine gas oil in the injector cooling. So, yan. Compatible siya sa pag-inject ng fuel. Then also, in gas piping featuring a double wall structure. Ito na yung mga inad nila ng mga sophisticated technology. Parang double walled structure sa ng gas pipe. So, a gas pipe features a double walled structure for extra safety. So, meron din. Katulad dito, merong cylinder pressure sensor for safety. Sense the pressure. Then, a variable valve timing mechanism. So, bakit mahalaga yung valve timing mechanism? Para great combustion or high efficiency, and also to proper cleaning or proper scavenging or valve overlap of the exhaust or in the combustion. So the valve train control system incorporate a variable valve timing mechanism. The system automatically controls the timing of the valve opening and closing according to the engine speed and load, thus helping to suppress the NOx emissions and improve anti-knocking performance. It also provides control to provide stable output of start-up and during low-load operation. So, ito na nga yung sinasabi ko, yung proper na pagsisara at pag-open ng dalawang valves, which is the intake or the exhaust. Para lahat clean rin yung, pag sa intake, clean rin yung rate na exhaust. So, it suppress the NOx emission and also anti-knocking performance. Ano ba yung anti-knocking performance? So, yung anti-knocking performance, parang karagdagan to na pressure, pagtaas ng pressure at saka ng temperature. So, pag mataas na, inject ng fuel, so efficient na yung combustion natin. So, yan. Valve timing. So, in the intake air shortage occurs at start-up and under load operation. So, sa intake air shortage yun. So, causing the engine performance to drop. So, kaya yun sabi kanina sa intake. So, kaya ininsulan nila nito na variable valve timing mechanism para maiwasan to. So, a variable valve mechanism optimize the valve timing or control the intake valve timing. So, nasolve na lang yung problem. So, yun. Another advantage ng advancement nito. And also, 4-stage load input for superb load response. So each system is optimally controlled to increase the load from a start-up to maximum load in 4 stages in gas mode. This achieves quick increase of engine speed to the unstable uh, range. So as you can see that in the graph, so they have the DWACH engine, a diesel engine, a dual fuel, 4-stage load input. Sa baba is the other branch engine's 5-stage load input. So, sa dual, isang 4-stage lang load input. Pwede nang quick increase of engine speed. And also, yeah. So, within the same series of engine, the dual fuels or the 6 diesel, marami kasi sila. Makikita niyo sa picture, merong 28, 28, 20, or 23, 35. And may mga model pa na inalalabas ng Daihatsu. Mga model yan, type of model. So it is already built a track record of successful operation. So, which is maganda nga kasi already built a track record successful. So, similarly, the first unit of the dual fuel is the 6DE35 dual fuel and the 8DE35 dual fuel. It is 6-cylinder and then the 8-cylinder. So we're shipped container ship in June 22. They have received order for approximately 150 dual fuel engine. Mainly, it is for car carriers and large container ship, where the shift to dual fuel is progressing. So, this will continue to regard global environment protection as an important management issue. And through the products and services, according to them, they will work to reduce greenhouse gas emission. Yun yung pinaka goal nila talaga dito sa dual fuel, to reduce gas emission and make effective use of resources, with the objective of providing the environment and supporting daily lives. So yun. Kaya mas maganda ito kasi yun nga, marami silang mga goals na makakabuti naman. So makikita niyo sa last part is the system overview. We have the silencer, ito, parang gas valve unit. Ito yung overview ng system nila. So that's all. That's all for the advancement of diesel engine. So thank you.
Hello, sir. Good day. I'm JVT Marafuentes from BS Marie 3 Charlie, and I'm here to discuss the construction and operation of a modern engine. So the modern engine that I will discuss is the Wärtsilä Sulzer RTA 96-C turbocharged diesel engine. So the Wärtsilä Sulzer RTA 96-C turbocharged 2-stroke diesel engine is the most powerful and most efficient prime mover in the world today. The Aioi Works of Japan's Diesel United Ltd. Built the first engines. So, the engine construction and operation of the Wärtsilä Sulzer RTA 96-C turbocharged diesel engine. So, first is, it is available in 6 through 14 cylinder versions. All are inline engines. So these engines were designed primarily for very large container ships. Next is, the engine weighs in at 2,300 tons and is capable of delivering 109,000 horsepower. So this is the specification of the Wärtsilä Sulzer RTA 96C turbocharged diesel engine. So ang iyang cylinder bore is 96 centimeter or 38 inches. Then the piston stroke is 2.50 meter or 98 inches. Then RPM range. So red line 120. So when we say red line, it is the maximum engine's speed. Then combustion. So turbocharger, single lang siya. Then the fuel type is consume siya of heavy fuel oil. Then the output. The power output is 80,080 kilowatts or 107,390 horsepower. So the dimensions. So the length is 26.59 meter or 87.2 feet. And the height is 13.5 meter or 44 feet. Then the dry weight is over 2,300 tons. So construction and operation. So the design is similar to the other RTA 96C engine, but with a common rail technology in place of traditional camshaft, chain gear, fuel pump, and hydraulic actuator systems. So this provides maximum performance at lower revolutions per minute, reduces fuel consumption and emits lower levels of harmful emissions. So the Wärtsilä Sulzer RTA 96C provides a maximum performance at a lower RPM. So it also reduces fuel consumption and emits lower level of harmful emissions. So the engine has a crosshead bearings. So the always vertical piston rod create a tight seal under the pistons. So next is the lubrication of the engine is split. So meaning the cylinders and the crankcase use different lubricants. So each being specialized for each designated role. So the cylinders are lubricated by continuous time injection of uh, consumable lubricant. So formulated to protect the cylinders from wear and neutralize the acids formed during combustion of the high sulfur fuels commonly used. So the crosshead design reduces sideway forces on the piston, keeping diametral cylinder liner wear down to about 30 per 1,000 hours. So the last one is as piston descends, it compresses incoming combustion air for the adjacent cylinders. This also serves as cushion the piston as it approaches bottom dead center, thereby removing some load from the bearings. The engine is uniflow scavenged by way of exhaust valves that are operated by electronically controlled hydraulics, thus eliminating the camshaft. So that's all for the Wärtsilä Sulzer RTA96C turbocharged diesel engine.
So this modern diesel, which is the MCC engine BMW, has improvements in the new design which targeted to achieve reduction on weight and cost of the engine, at the same time improving or maintaining the overall efficiency. So one of the modern diesel engine today that has advancements, upgrades, updates in terms of construction and operation is the MCC engine BMW. So the major improvements of this engine are as follows. So first is the increase of power to weight ratio. So power to weight ratio is perhaps the most important criteria used when choosing an engine for a type of ship. So to get better and efficient performance from the ship, it is recommended to have high power to weight ratio. Second is it increased the main effective pressure for same bore engine at same speed. So the pressure of the bore is increased. So third is all large diameter bearings are made in thin-walled bearings. Thin section bearings have saved weight, create space, increase design flexibility, and provides excellent running accuracy. So next is a simple cross headpin structure with reduced size and weight. So the headpin has a simple because it has reduced size and weight. Then fifth is the introduction of reduced diameter twin tie bolts. So on the MAN BMW MCC engine, the tie bolts do not pass through the bed plate transfer girder in the traditional way. Instead, there are two pairs of the bolts fitted either the side of a single plate A-frame and screwed into the bed plate transfer girder. So this is claimed to reduce the distortion of the bed plate during engine operation. So 6 is the bottom end of the rods threaded to the transfer girder of bed plate and hence reduction in material. Then next is it reduce edge pressure of the main bearings. So it has less edge pressure of the bearings. Then next is it simplifies the main bearing casting. Then next is high piston top land. It ensures the top piston ring is not exposed to high combustion chamber temperatures, along with high top land or CPR controlled pressure relief. Piston rings are used to reduce the pressure drop across the ring and hence prevention of piston ring collapse. Then next is reduce height of the cylinder block and cylinder cam box. So it has less height of the cylinder block. So due to the reduced mass of the moving parts, the second order moment decreased by about 80%, improving the vibration condition. The next is it has a simplified frame structure, makes it easier to weld. Then lastly is it has a holding down bolts in a sunken structure to make compact design. So that's all for the MCC engine BMW improved construction.
Good day, sir. I am Radin B. Calabia of BS Marito Charlie, and today I will discuss about the advantages of modern engine. And the name of the modern engine that I use is the Sulzer RTA72U diesel engine. So first, I will discuss the description of Sulzer RTA series. So it is the modern day engine designed with exhaust valves fitted. It has become very famous in modern shipping as it is a balanced blend of automation mechanical engineering. It is consume less fuel and produce more power with 3 fuel valves in one cylinder. So that is the definition of Sulzer. So the Sulzer RTA 72U is a type of internal combustion engine which ignites the fuel when injected into hot, high-pressure air in a combustion chamber. In common with all internal combustion engines, the diesel engines operates with the fixed consequent events which may achieve either in 4-stroke or 2-stroke. So the Sulzer RTA 72U doesn't define if it is 2-stroke or 4-stroke. So being a travel of the piston between its extreme points, each stroke is accomplished with half revolution in a crankshaft. Next is the RTA is a single-acting low-speed 2-stroke reversible marine engine manufactured by New Sulzer Ltd. So it is one of the RTA series which is the one of RTA series engine which were introduced in 1981. So the RTA engines are introduced in 1981. So the Sulzer RTA 72U is the modern that used today. But the classification of RTA or the first RTA is invented in 1981. And in addition to a longer stroke than the earlier RL series, it has a cylinder head, exhaust valve, and providing uniflow of scavenging. Next is the bed plate of the Sulzer RTA marine diesel engine. So the bed plate is the single walled and arranged with an integral thrust bearing, housing, and after end. Cross members are steel fabrications, although the center section, incorporating the main bearing saddle tie bolt housing, may be a steel forging to resist crankshaft loading, and transverse bending to main bearing caps are held down by jack bolts. And then the crankcase of Sulzer RTA 72U marine diesel engine is arranged by using individual A-frame for columns, which are also the mountings for the double slippered crosshead guides. The A-frame are joined together by heavy steel plates and short angle girders to form a sturdy box frame. The A-frame in way of the thrust block are manufactured as a one-piece double column to ensure accurate mesh of the camshaft drive gears, which are enclosed in this section. Next is the individual cast iron cylinder. Are bolted together to form a rigid unit which is mounted onto A-frames. The bolt extend from the top of the cylinder blocks to the underside of the main bearing saddles. The crankshaft is semi-belt with the combined crankpin and crankwave elements forged from a single element. The journal pins are then shrunk into the crankwaves. Then for all but the larger numbers of engine cylinders, the crankshaft is a single unit. The main journal and bottom end bearing are thin-walled shells lined with a white metal. The forged connecting rod has a tabletop upper end for the mounting of the crosshead bearing. A large crosshead with floating sleepers at each end is used. The piston rod is bolted directly to the top of crosshead pin. The pistons are oil-cooled and somewhat shorter in length and earlier designs. There is no piston skirt. 5 piston rings are fitted, which are designed to rotate within their grooves. So the cylinder liners of Sulzer RT-72 have a simple rotationally symmetrical designs with the scavenge ports at the lower end. The deep collar at the upper end is bore-cooled, as are all components surrounding the combustion chamber. Cooling water is fed from below through a water guide arranged around the liner or the cylinder liners. Next is the cylinder lubrication of Sulzer RTA-72U. Is provided in 8 coils arranged around the lower edge of the collar on the liner. The more recently introduced RTA series engines all have oil-cooled pistons with oil supplied from the crosshead bearing up through the piston rod. A piston rod of the Sulzer RTA-72U gland separates the crankcase chamber from the under piston space. Various scrapers and sealing rings are fitted within the gland. So the cylinder head of the Sulzer RTA-72U is a single steel forging arranged for bore cooling and appropriately drilled holes. So pockets are cut for the air starting valve and fuel injection valves, the number depending upon the cylinder bore. The centrally mounted exhaust valve is fitted in cage with a bore-cooled valve set. Next is the valve stem of the Sulzer RTA-72U. The Sulzer is fitted with a vane-type impeller to ensure the rotation. The valve is opened by hydraulic pressure from the pumps driven by the camshaft and closed by compressed air closed by the compressed air. And the camshaft is located at engine mid-height and is gear driven from the camshaft. Then the initial gear drive of the Sulzer RTA-72U is bolted to the rim of the thrust block, and a single intermediate wheel is used on large bore, high-powered engine. The gear drives is in the center of the engine. The camshaft extends the length of the engine, and individual segment carries the exhaust valve, actuating and fuel injection pumps, plus the revising servo motor for one pair of cylinder. Next is the constant pressure of turbocharging is used, and electrically driven blowers cut into automatically when the engine load is about 40% of the maximum continuous rotating. Next is the lubricating oil is supplied to a low and a medium pressure system. The low pressure system supplies the main and the other bearings. The crosshead bearings, reversing servo motors, and exhaust valve actuators are supplied by the medium pressure system. Cylinder oil is supplied to lubricate from a high level service tank. So there is also a valve in Sulzer RTA, which is the double valve control. Variable injection timing is used to deliver fuel multiple, uncooled injectors, and an electronic governor is supplied as a standard. So when the engine has oil-cooled piston, they will supplied from the lubricating oil system, possibly at a higher pressure produced by booster pumps. The Sulzer RTA engine and an appropriate type of lubricating oil must be used for oil lubricated piston in order to avoid carbon deposits on the hotter parts of the system.